those maps where you do see a lot more sniper play than usual. You got a lot of those buildings that you can perch upon, get some good sight lines. But side effects, I don't know if they're going to flex onto this because Widowmakers, any kind of DPS these days is a big risk, right? If you aren't finding those shots, your tanks are giving up their HP for nothing, right? So it's a lot of pressure on these DPS. Frost on this Widowmaker right now. Spoxes, who has been playing quite well, actually, on the far end. It looks like we are going to be seeing some DPS today.
Right.
Oh, blessed day, right? Valentine's Day, Overwatch League opening day. It's beautiful.
Our hearts are filled with Widowmakers at the moment. The big one dueling off
Or
against
holes.
Frost. Yeah, or holes, exactly.
Our hearts are full of
And
holes.
actually, big one does get taken down instantly by Boger, who has been pretty notable on this Winston in the past. And now with that being said, they will also lose the honorable side effects, so they kind of have to be careful of how far they do want to push forward without that big burst sustain. Frost will go up and actually find a very well-timed headshot onto the D.Va that was trying to pressure out. Molthog will be DMAX, but it's not... Oh, hello, Frost. Okay. I was about to say, it's not before a lot of eliminations come for the side of Novus. They will actually open the point, full art team in red, and side effects, they'll try to retreat back with as many or as few casualties as possible.
See, this is a difficulty with running that Widowmaker. If you look at Frost individually, holy cow, he's already going to have an Inversight within that first fight, so you know he's personally doing tons of damage. But with snipers, it's not just about finding those kills, but when you find those kills. He got a ton of cleanup towards the late fight, but not before both Spoxes and Kov already died. So now as they come, yeah, but now with this Inversight, it is going to force Novus's positioning, but again, you got to find that opening.
Indeed, a headshot will actually take Boger a little bit low, and then how he's actually able to back right back up. Coalescence comes out for Eclipse, able to take down the support line, and the big one will finally find that trade he was so desperately looking for, an Inversight of his own, but you can't imagine him pulling it out here as we are going to hit the 50% mark here in the near future for Novus.
There we have it. Side effects, again, you know, kind of getting some damage in here, there. You're close to a Valk, you're close to Barrage, but there's not really going to be a prize for most improved, right? Novus are the ones who are finding those kills, confirming the frags. And Eclipse on this Moira, you don't see it too often, but that burst heal definitely going to be good for those tanks, and it allows him to roam very freely. Novus doesn't have to worry about protecting their backline. It allows them to go in much more aggressively, and they're playing that playstyle perfectly right now.
Side effects with very delayed swaps, as Frost, I think, was waiting for the Inversight to finish before they gave away that the Zarya was coming out of spawn. Well, at least that seems to be the consideration. The big one will lock down this left-hand side, at least prospectively, as he sits on top of the skyscraper. Able to hit a couple of nice shots, and now finally the interaction comes in on point. The EMP for Obling is good, but the self-destructs will trade away one apiece. It does leave us with essentially a 4-on-4 on the point, but Boger will be able to jump on top of the big one. So now the front lines will actually find dueling gorillas in Primal Rage forms as they try to slap at one another. But again, all this is valuable time for Novus. They get to 99%. Side effects will flip the point, but again, they have to play a perfect game from here on out.
Very, very tough task right here. Novus has been working around those ultimates so well. It wasn't, you know, until 99% the side effects could actually even get a clean 6-man fight, right? So these are good swaps coming through. You're going to go for that dive goes. Actually, Boger swapping onto the Reinhardt, but it's a little late. Novus are already pressuring the point.
And they're going to essentially get it for free. You have to think that there should have been some kind of a contest. Now you have to do it in overtime, and you have to flip the point. So a lot of obstacles set up. The sound barrier for Novus will allow them to speed amp right into the face of Boger, who gets taken down immediately. Sab, he's out here by himself looking for a target to either heal or deal damage to, and he's just out here pretty much in no man's land. The big one, again, not near full charge, but dealing enough pressure, at least positionally, to stroke everybody off of point, and side effects not quite able to get back in time. It will be Novus securing the first map set.
Oh, gravity tragedy. Frost tried to jump on at the last second, but it was just a millisecond too late. And Novus looking totally in control right there. What happened, Shift? I mean, Boger came back on. You see the thinking, right? Okay, we're gonna brawl it out on the point with the Rein Zarya, but Novus just W-mouse one onto the point, and side effects, like you said, gave it up for free. Not quite sure what happened there, but next map, you know, next round, shake it off. The past is the past. Side effects, they can't allow those small mistakes to come through because, again, you're competing with these top-tier teams for just 2 slots into Contenders. So side effects, they're going to be looking for some individual moments to shine right now.
And I like that you hit individual moments, because one of our analysts, Panda, was saying that the side effects team, as they are on a contention, might just be playing for themselves and get noticed by Contenders team. So obviously a consideration. Now is Novus, again, looking for that perfect 4-0 if possible. They would love to start it off with a 2-0 here in Busan, and my goodness, this team fight, before it even really gets fully fledged, they've already found 2 eliminations, have Novus. They will lose one of their own, as, again, Luft was getting a little over-aggressive, thinking he could just hold W a little bit longer than he should. But regardless, Novus will find the point as it opens in their favor.
Some beautiful opening frags right there, but they did lose one member, so Side Effect's going to try to take advantage of that window of opening, just get on top of them, use this 6v5.
They're able to take down one, that's Obling, and now another as Luft actually gets taken down by the boosters, and all of a sudden Side Effects, you called it, they knew they had an advantage, they pushed right on through, they absolutely punished. All they have to do is take care of this last pesky support player in Kara, and they will be able to do so. Only 20% given up, that's not the worst case scenario whatsoever for Side Effects.
Especially with 3 ults online now, and take a look at the grab, right? You can use that to hold Novus right here at this choke. Mecha base is very difficult in that all of these chokes are extremely small and telegraphed here. Sob, ready? Nope, it's grab first.
But is the damage able to follow up? It will be Frost's left hand into the face of Luft to take down one, and the self-destruct able to find another from Mede. That will be enough for Side Effects to win out this fight, but that's fine for Novus. They get themselves a lot of ultimates out of the gate for Side Effects, and now they'll be returning to this next team fight with a bunch of their own.
Novus are going to be looking to draw ultimates out from Side Effects while holding on to their own. They actually won that first fight so cleanly, they're just now coming into their first ultimates. But Sob still has this trance, so Novus are going to be looking at a very long, grindy fight.
Oh, what a nice little soundwave. Boger had an opening as the staircase was free with shields not being there, but gets pushed aside. The Earthshatter only finds a wall, and Novus, they will punish. What good trigger discipline from Novus. Kara able to push him away. Absolutely brilliant play from, again, their open division champions, looking smooth and collected here in Contenders Trials. They'll flip this point back in their favor just before we get to the 60% mark for Side Effects.
What a reaction time, right? Just finding those open. I mean, my mouth was open, right? Kara really putting his team on his shoulders right here. That allows Eclipse to save his own trance for the future fights. Novus know that Side Effects are going to be barreling in here with the grab. They just use it. They're going to have another one. And now it's just a question of biding more time off the clock and rotating those ultimates.
So many support ultimates, though, as well for Novus. Still waiting as the CKF not able to find himself a sound barrier as he used it in the last fight. Didn't really result in much sustain. Now the big one, trying to poke, gets himself to 80% charge, and now all of a sudden the Graviton is there, and they're able to take down Bogan before the Transcendence. Now the self-destruct will find one more. It's coming from every single facet of the game right now, Evie, as we do have the Obling getting involved with the flail, self-destructs. We're seeing everything being used for destruction here for Novus.
More boop kills, too, for Kara, patting his stats over there, just saying. And Side Effects, this is dangerous territory for them right now. Do you invest the grab right here, knowing that Novus has held on to the trance, or do you just try to go for that eco push, bank up more ultimates, try and win that ult economy advantage?
Luft also with an Earthshatter, just looking for an opportunity. Baiting the shield potentially, as Boger is able to find his way, and the Graviton Surge will be committed. The Earthshatter immediately in response will not find any stuns. Wojay finds 2, but it's not really enough to convert Boger, and Luft also flung. So no Reinhardt's in this fight as it does continue on. Frost has used the Graviton Surge, but is near full charge. It just comes down to, will the big one find himself a big grab? He will, and there will be Sab with the Transcendence. So the sustain is decent, but it's not good enough to keep Spokers along. Meanwhile, on the point, the Lucio was there for free. We'll swing things just narrowly as it was getting to the 100% mark, and Side Effects will clean up everything else from the front line as Boger was able to get back to the fight before Luft was. So all of a sudden, with the flip, Side Effects are in control of the point, and they're going to have a little bit of a task in front of them, though, Evie. There's a lot still to deal with for Novus.
A lot of ultimates incoming, but 76%. So Side Effects, if they can hold on to this last fight, they're in good territory to tie things up here. But it's going to be a very tough ask. They did really well splitting Novus's attention the last time around, but it's going to be, again, a big shield battle between these two Rhines.
Graviton Surge is good, though, as far as the side for Side Effects, but booped off the map goes Boger, and Frost is dead as well. Oh, goodness, it was the right play from Side Effects, but you can't play based off the fact that Kara's going to hit these downtown boops. He pushed him nearly halfway off the point into that water that we so scenically see, and with that, overtime will fade away, and Novus, they'll secure Busan. Oh, you know, Evie, we were talking about this before when it comes down to it. Sometimes the front line for Novus, not the greatest in the world, but their support line comes in so clutch at the right times. Prime example right there.
We got to start some kind of bingo, some kind of counter or something for how many boops that Kara gets, because yo, this guy was playing out of his mind. And you would think, as a team who's been playing GOATs for so long and coming up against the Open Division champions, and oh yeah, this Lucio gets tons of boops, we got to stay away a little bit from the edge. But when you're in the heat of the moment, it's so hard to keep your eyes on all of the moving parts around you. And Kara is just so good at taking those opportunities. I mean, not just with boop kills, but with those crucial displacements all around. Novus looking really scary.
And it's every single boop, too. It's either small displacements, like you mentioned, and we saw instances of that to make sure that Boger doesn't get Nurse Shatter off. It's one to send him into the drink. There's so many instances where every single cooldown he gets is so well utilized. It's not the sexiest role in the world to play the Lucio, but sometimes that appeal, it comes whether you like it or not. I'm sure Kara loves it, though. So we are setting things off 1-0 for Novus. Again, we just got to hit this storyline one more time. Novus, they would love to see a 4-0 here, improving themselves not only to 3-1, but again, this round-robin style of Trials Contenders does not end with the playoffs. So every single map does end up mattering when it comes to those placements.
Especially since Out of My Game did drop one map. Right? So this is an opportunity for Novus. If they can pull the 4-0, they've really put themselves ahead of this really crammed middle of the pack in Trials. And I'm just still so stunned by Kara's placements, because when I play Lucio, I'm like lucky if I stay on the map. I get so excited with like wall riding and things. I totally forget everything. So, you know, and when you have that kind of almost say carry Lucio, right? Who's not just good with speed boosting at the right times with crucial barriers, but able to chip in and get some of those frags, it really frees up your front line. I mean, Luft, you saw he went, I mean, it was the first opening fight in Mecha Base. He went charged straight in and died immediately, but they still were able to cap the point just off the fact of the pressure that they were putting on their opponents.
You know, and just to hit it one more time, Ham, I mean, that was one of the things that when in their loss that they had earlier on in this season against Out of My Game, who we just saw previously, it was because Luft and Wolfig were just kind of going off and going a little bit too deep. And you can kind of see the support line say, no, come back. We want to save you. I promise we'll help you if you just stay in front of our line of sight. And they have railed it in nicely, but you still see instances where Luft is saying, I'm going, baby. We're going in there. But again, against a little bit more of a weaker opponent, that will likely pay off some more often than against other teams. But that's been one of the things for Novus. You know, as we continue to see this this map set kind of develop, is will this front line continue to start playing more together? Again, this was, as we mentioned, that #1 open team as we went through. So as we go to our next map, it will be on King's Row. Obviously, that's one of those spots that you talk about the front line of Novus. The big one will likely be playing Zarya, and again, needs to find the success right there.
Zarya is a crucial role, and big one. He was shining on the Widowmaker on Busan, but we again got to see, you know, maybe him dial it back just a little bit. Make sure you're saving those ally bubbles for crucial moments, not just to get charged. Because Novus, they're looking really good in terms of wins right now, but their wins have been against CIS, Hope, and Orglis and Hungary, two of the weaker teams in the pool. So with side effects, they've kind of yet to be tested, but this is a really good time for the team to be like, hey, you know, we know that the later half of Trials is going to be much tougher for us in terms of the competition. We got to, you know, stay consistent. We got to keep the comms open, make sure we're not overextending ourselves.
Indeed. Things you love to see here on Valentine's Day. As again, love is in the air with a lot of things. Gothic arc, just dark and gritty.
Just like my
everything
heart.
Valentine's.
Yeah.
A deep little picture into the life of Ham Tornado, potentially. Just a small glimpse through the window. But as we get into this one on King's Row, side effects, you know, you talk about them coming out on offense. You would love to just find some success early to get the momentum riding, as Luft will backpedal in very stylish fashion in that glimmering armor. They will start off on defense with a little bit of a different setup. We will see the Sombra coming out from Molfig and Eclipse on this Ana. Maybe some PogChamp plays incoming.
Oh, I'm very excited to watch what Eclipse can do here. King's Row is a great map. You get some momentum going on Streets phase, you get that nano boost rolling. It's almost impossible to stop that death ball. But Novus, they do have to defend first. So again, that's going to be talking about, you know, conservative plays. If side effects find an opening pick, especially if we do see this Widowmaker come out, it might just be game over for Novus in this point A defense. Molfig, you know, just scouting, you know, perching.
Posturing, positioning, other words with P. As we move through, it will be a nice fire grenade from Eclipse, but the first blood does come down on Akara. So numbers for side effects, and I gasped for a second there because Luft got double sniped by a Widow and the Hanzo and almost fell. Now, again, you see the 6-5. This is brilliant from Novus. What a good little soft reset. They've got enough pressure from the backline for Molfig, again, on this Sombra to do some damage and pull someone away from point. And now the re-hit comes in with a full 6. Brilliant play. 2 ticks of progress have been made, but the recontest is good. And Earthshatter all ready for Luft. He's able to take down one. That one was free since there was no Reinhardt on the table. And Novus, wow, that was a brilliant hold.
What a great rebound defense. The rubber band, right? You hide behind Hotel, you use the walls to absorb all of that damage. Luft charges back in, his shield is full health. You saw that, right? Even with that bubble, you know, he didn't even really need it. Get an Earthshatter within that first fight, and Side Effects had no idea what hit them. Boger, he's still, you know, just about 60% to that Shatter. He really, really wants to have that online, but there's still more threats coming from Novus. You see Molfig once again perching perfectly, waiting for that EMP. He could hit all 6 of them.
Oh, why not? With the biotic grenade as well. Just go back to respawn, please. We don't want to see you near this point, says Novus. Absolutely brilliant execution on the back end of just a single ultimate. And oh goodness, Ham, you start to take a look at the ultimates available. So many team-changing ultimates for the favor of Novus. Side Effects have so much work to do.
They're still catching up, and this is already, you know, the third fight. There's just a little bit over 2 minutes left, and Side Effects, you know, they have to find some kind of momentous opening because Novus are like, yeah, we could do this all day, man. We got more ultimates to throw in here. Eclipse waiting, making sure that he's safe here to apply that nano boost. Could be on Luft.
And again, oh gosh, the biotic grenade's so good. That time in combination with the Graviton Surge, why not? Just keep putting it down, Eclipse. That's absolutely brilliant. Although, I say that, Novus actually gets taken down. Luft tries to find an Earthshatter, but won't find anything. He'll be forced to try to charge away, but the Graviton Surge coming out from Side Effects will lock everybody in place. The support line, again, can they be clutch again for Novus on the defense here? The boost comes out, Luft trying to come through, but that's a full charge Jonah, and that will be enough for a Fire Strike to rip through the entirety of Novus. Side Effects will find themselves a capture.
We've definitely been going on about Novus's abilities, but that was the downside of this team, going way too aggressively. A huge overinvestment, both from Kara and Eclipse. They used the Nano Boost and the Sound Barrier, even down so many members. Side Effects now, they're trying to make the most of it. They recognize that Novus are essentially running on empty. They can push forward with impunity. Jonah right there, you know, trying to get a little bit more charge, keep high energy. And Novus, they kind of, you know, maybe beefed it just a little bit.
You know, on the flip side of things, we haven't talked about this compositionally when you were running something like the Sombra with the Reinhardt Zarya. Is Side Effects essentially doesn't have to worry about a defense matrix, so Jonah that time through was free to just send out a pretty medium distance Graviton Surge to lock everybody in Novus in place without fear of it being eaten. Now all of a sudden you talk about that advantage that they know that they have, getting aggressive with the Graviton Surge, or pardon me, with the Sound Barrier here, that's an ability, and they were able to speed forward as well. Side Effects taking care of just about everybody with another full team wipe. This might just be the Streets phase finished if Boger can zone away and maybe hit one more Air Shatter.
If Boger's Earthshatter doesn't land, Saab will have the insurance policy of that trance, right? Big one is coming up on that grab, but trance is so powerful, can cancel out everything. And Novus, they're going to try and go for this last second defense, you know, just to give it a go, but Side Effects are looking extremely strong. They probably will take this.
Oh, what a nice little play! The Brigitte from high to low will get the mini stun. The Earthshatter came out right behind, but it doesn't find really as much as I'm sure Side Effects would have liked. Now finally they're able to clean things up as Jonah finds, again, another pretty free Graviton Surge. A full team wipe from Side Effects, but again, Jonah was forced to pull out that Graviton Surge just to lock everybody in place. So maybe, again, a lot of tools used. Will they find any success here to finish out the map?
It is going to depend upon how long this last fight drags out. Very good call right there, Shift, about, you know, hey, maybe they didn't need to use that grab, but they still will be able to buy more time with this rally, with this trance, give Jonah the opportunity to get another grab.
But for Novus, defensively, you have to consider not only do you obviously want to win a fight, but how many tools do you use? Graviton Surge comes through, forcing Saab into the Transcendence for Side Effects. Very low HP is Obbling, as well as actually Luft. This might just be good. The self-destruct goes overhead. At least zones away a couple, but the kills are all coming up Side Effects' way. And goodness, Novus, I don't know if they were really going for a dry fight necessarily, because Big One able to put out one of the ultimates, but I guess mid-fight they say, okay, well, if they're going to use a little bit of everything to try to counter us, let's just go ahead and hold on to what we have for one more defense.
Yeah, then they will have 5 for that defense, knowing that they drew that trance out from Saab, so could well be worth it for Novus, but they have to be aggressive here. They no longer have that grab to secure kills. They got to find this the old-fashioned vanilla way.
Old-fashioned vanilla. As we move on through rallies, will be traded. A lot of ultimates. Again, just keep your eye on Novus to see what will be used. There will be side effects starting things off. Transcendence has to come through, and now the Earthshatter as well does put a couple on their backs, but is it enough for Novus to fully wipe this? Looks like the answer will be yes, as the charge does come in for Luff. You talk about him being aggressive. That was an instance where that pays off. Side effects will be pushed away, but still plenty of time to play with 2:22 in the clock.
Not bad at all. A good Zarya can get a grab within, nowadays we see even 60 seconds. So that's well within side effects capability with Jonah. And they're going to have 4 to Novus's 2. They invested very heavily in this last defense. They had to, but now that means Big One's grab has to be the black hole of the century. Draw some of the support ultimates out. Otherwise, side effects can sustain this fight all the way into Novus's spawn.
Take a look. The Big One near full charge is happy to just let that cannon fire. Now the Graviton Surge will lock in Boger. Sap once again quick on the trigger to hit the Transcendence, but charge into a wall, and that will find full value. Not only does Luff get the elimination, but Wolf being able to clean up one more in the back end of not having a shield up. So once again, Novus able to hold, but again, it cost them a lot, as Luff is still not there to the Earthshatter. But again, you talk about the support line for Novus, they're very close to having both of their support ultimates up.
Just can't layer them. That's always something that we see every once in a while, but Novus, kind of regaining their mojo right here. A minute 20 for side effects to get something going. They're always close to the edge, but they just need that extra little bit of damage to put them through that threshold. Ally bubble out now from side effects. Novus know they can swing with impunity as Left looking for this Earthshatter.
Oh, but he does not put his shield back up. The support sustain was not there, so Luft will fall. Now side effects, can you punish this? The Big One also drops away, so all of a sudden numbers and the frontline advantage tilts for that of side effects. 60 seconds left. Palo continues to move, and if they can find one more stagger pick, this would be incredible for side effects. Will they use anything to try to do so? They almost have all 6 ultimates up. The Earthshatter comes down. Will not find much as far as the stun from Luff, but now the Transcendence is all the support ultimates being used here. Self-destruct from the back end, though, will take down Obling. A very desperate Earthshatter from Boger won't find much, but again, the number is so vastly in favor of side effects. They'll take down Luff. The Big One will get his grab, eating this a little bit of extra punishment, a little bit of salt in the wounds, as this will surely be the map being completed. Although I say that, and Kara comes back with a sound wave. Oh, it's not able to push as many off as I thought. And side effects, they will finish King's Row in time.
Good last push from side effects there. Kudos to them. Well placed self-destruct from Mete. And then the follow-through charge, too. It is very difficult to get that timing down. Novus, maybe a little bit too comfortable. You saw them get completely bowled over during the Streets phase, which was to be a little bit expected with the ultimate disadvantage, but they seem to be going with this playbook where, okay, we're gonna try and hold around this first corner. Left, just go in aggressive. If you die, it's fine. We have ultimates. We can hold towards the end of our spawn. It's no problem, right? We have numbers. But side effects, right there, kind of, just going in whole hog, right, so to say. And Novus were a little bit caught off guard. They were just caught in that grab. There wasn't a ton that they could do, but it seemed like they were sitting a little bit back on their heels, just waiting rather than taking initiative to try and find kills with their own ultimates. They weren't really as proactive, a lot more reactive to what side effects were throwing at them, and that time around didn't quite work out.
That's a little cinematic there as Boger charges right through our cameraman. A little bit of that was good timing. You don't see that very often, but it worked out. I like that. Props out to the camera. But now, again, defensively for side effects, we saw again how effective the Ana was for Eclipse for Novus. It looks like Spokes will actually come out with one of his own. And again, that means there's no D.Va. Oh, pardon me, there is a D.Va on the table. They're actually not going to be running the Brigitte this time for side effects. This is interesting.
So Brigitte was originally supposed to be a backline peel hero, but we see her kind of being more of that frontline brawler, so that means that side effects not going to be having quite as much staying power with their tanks, but you do get a lot more sustain with this kind of triple support. Spox's, though, again, it's on his shoulders to take initiative, find value from those bio-nades, because if side effects just sits back like Novus did on their defense, they're going to get run over.
And so far, just a poke battle happening right outside the point. A couple of low health pools, though, for Novus. Have to be a little bit careful, but they do take down Spoxes, and that'll be enough for probably the full push through. There's no threat of the biotic grenade, and of course, the extra burst healing will not be there for side effects. 6 on 5. Oh, narrowly. Almost the Big One getting taken down, but will be sustained back up. Again, nice little armor discipline for Oblin to put it right back down on his frontliners, and this will be one more contest, but can they get there in time? They're posturing underneath the archway, but actually they're just going to give this one up, wait for 6, and try to hold it aggressively.
I don't know how Spoxes got caught out. A headshot from a diva, of all things, takes out the Ana, and then there was just no way that Side Effects could hold. Luckily, you know, they didn't try and waste, you know, their resources, waste their HP on a fruitless hold, but this really puts them on the back foot. Novus, they're going to come into this with ultimates. Big One just got their grab, and Saab, you know, a few seconds away from this trance, so Big One might just throw it out. There we go.
Wow, but actually the Big One gets eaten as he tried to throw that from downtown, so now all of a sudden it's Side Effects who find some value out of their Graviton Surge, but both teams will just say, okay, good fight, let's just back up to our corners and try again, as both teams will come back 6-on-6, full HP. Again, this archway is such a tough choke point to bust through, and you can already see Boger, of course, he's got himself that Earth Shatter. The Self-Destruct will try to split things up, immediately responded with one of their own, but Jonah falls, and actually, look at that, Meta able to find two, as Novus was trying to come through aggressively, Luff gets stunned away from it, and all of a sudden, Side Effects, they'll hold W a little bit more, and they'll be the victors of that fight, mostly because, obviously, the numbers, but more importantly, the payload doesn't move anywhere.
It's such a chess game of ultimates these days. What an eat from Mete, canceling out Big One's grab. That means that trance was for naught. But now, Cobb forced to use that sound barrier.
And Luff's able to find himself in the backline for an Earth Shatter that will be able to take down two Eclipse. It's not just, oh my goodness, it's not just two eliminations, they're two headshots, as well as a boot to the face, plus another assist. Evie, we can't say that enough. This support line for Novus is absolutely for real.
It's not too often you see like 5 kills and 2 of them fist kills from your support line. Novus right now, they're like, yo, we're mad. We're mad. I can't believe we gave up that defense. We are plowing through, 4 minutes left until they can get this point B, and Side Effects, all they have to hang their hopes on is a single rally from Spoxes. Better to kind of just save that for the later fight, but no, they're going to go in.
Graviton Surge for Novus, able to put things right on top of the payload, and Luff, that's free. Oh my goodness, just absolutely swinging from left to right. No problem, Eclipse even getting aggressive because why not? He's done so well with these Orbs of Destruction. If you're feeling it, go ahead and feed the hot hand. This will be the second stage completed.
A big investment from Side Effects, their only ultimate used in that last fight, and they lost it, so now they're looking down the barrel of a 5 ultimate gun, and that is a very frightening thing, especially Luft, again, pushing forward so aggressively, just making sure that Big One doesn't get stagger killed, but he has his Shatter, everybody holding on to their ultimates except the Big One.
Self-destruct overhead! Oh my goodness! Again! With the punish on Boger being a little out of position, Kara moves through, boops him around, he gets stunned. That's a free double for Molfig. He, again, has found so many doubles off the back end of self-destructs, but you can't discredit him. The support line has really enabled him to do so. And now all of a sudden, Side Effects, they're desperate to find this 4 minutes still and change on the clock. They have to touch. Take your eyes to see if Kara can get in. The sound barrier is there, and now the Transcendence will be stacked on top of each other. So is it full value? You need to find eliminations now if you're Novus, but there's no tools to do it. Boger will try to drop down a Earth Shatter, and almost nearly gets pushed off the map, but actually, it'll be the self-destruct to keep things, again, a little bit of chaos here for Novus, as they're not quite centralized where they want to be. You can see Luff is holding his shield vastly behind where the rest of his team is. Will now jump on board, but they don't have the numbers, and it looks like Side Effects will sustain this defense.
That was a scary thing. You nearly got that boop off. Kara trying to, you know, get a little bit of redemption from layering sound barrier with Eclipse's trance. So Side Effects, they managed to squeak out a defense, but it was rather Novus kind of giving up that play rather than Side Effects out mind gaming them. So they gotta be really watching out here. There's not a lot of room for mistakes against a team like Novus, who are now going to be coming in with all the tools for a bigger bang combo. And this is a team that is able to execute on that kind of play. So Side Effects, they have to be playing a little bit farther back. Cobb, this is a lot of pressures on the shoulder of the Lucio. He is the one who can save this team.
The other advantage for Side Effects is the fact that Jonah was able to retain a lot of his charge, while the Big One is, you can see it on your screen right now, just below 40. So Jonah can get this grab pretty quickly. The Big One, will he find an opportunity? He wants to dive on in, looking for a setup for this Graviton Surge. Side Effects, though, whoa, what a trigger that was from K-Have. Able to put down the sound barrier. Luff will get charged into Boger, though. And now the Earth Shatter response for Luff is good. The Transcendence just a bit too late for Side Effects, and that might just be all she wrote. as the big one, again, you can see, still not quite near full charge, so is the damage actually here? The self-destruct for side effects will be good to push them away and delay for a small moment to let the respawns come in, although Metahan will be demaxed. Eclipse able to find one more as well, but we're still looking at a 4-on-4 fight. If Boger can stay alive, this would be good for side effects. He's doing everything he can. The big one now near full charge, though, will melt through the rest of that Reinhardt armor. The sound barrier for Novus should likely secure the last bit of sustain that they need, and now the eliminations, as you see them, will funnel through. It just comes down to if the stagger will be good enough defensively for side effects.
Yeah, big one has stayed alive for ages right here, but finally backing off just a little bit, letting Luff take some of that damage. So close to that Graviton Surge. If he can get it, if Novus can rebound back in, but no, looks like they're going to go for that soft reset. But as I say it, oh man, they're just standing in this no man's land of posturing right now. Hard eye contact between both of these Reinhardts who have really been living on this edge. I can't believe Boger stayed alive as long as he did. It's really kudos to side effects, pumping all of their resources into their Rein, who is now going to have that shatter. So
I'm actually a little surprised that Novus did not just try to finish it there. I mean, yeah, you lost Luff mid-fight, but you have the big one near full charge, was close to a Graviton Surge, so they'll just back up and try fighting once again. The tools pretty much even between both teams as we will reset this fight with a minute and change. Graviton from downtown. Oh. Big one, you cannot do that from so far away. That's an easy grab suck up for Medi, and now they'll respond with one of their own side effects. Very realistically, could send this one a little bit further onto the defense as they're able to take down Luft once more. Eclipse also dropping away. So now without one frontliner and one support, it looks like side effects will just clean everything up. And now we're underneath 60 seconds, Evie, and this is looking really dangerous for Novus.
Novus, what is going on, man? You had so many great opportunities, gaping windows, I would say, to kind of take charge, take your destiny into your own hands. But big one kind of cosplaying Mickey right now, getting his second grab eaten by Mete, who is so full. He is going to have that self-destruct. I mean, Mete has actually found some unassisted bomb kills. If side effects just lob this over right now, that's even more time off the clock. Novus are going to be down to an overtime push.
And they use so much, but again, the big one very close. Eclipse able to find one. You talk about this support line coming in clutch. That'll play every day of the week. Again, you can see Luff looking for that self-destruct. Will immediately turn around for a nice Earth Shatter, but countered once again. Boger able to put down 4, and now side effects. Can you find the damage to convert? They lose the Boger, and now all of a sudden with no Reinhardt here, it looks like side effects will fade away, but goodness, did they ever give themselves a go at it. They will finish the map likely here, as we will see it go all the way through, but it was in overtime. Side effects was able to complete King's Row on their attack with some time in the bank, so we will go on to a second round.
Woo! Man, wow. Eclipse. That is clutch power right there when you most need him. I mean, he's been playing incredibly all throughout the match. A large part of the reason that Novus had such a time bank to keep going at this third point again and again was their ability to melt their opponents by everybody focusing on Eclipse's Discord orb. And again, you know, it just goes to show that this team really trusts one another, that they're all playing on the same page to be able to focus down people according to who has that purple balloon of death hanging over their head. And but Novus, once more, you can't just be relying on your backline to find frags when, you know, you have no ultimates on hand or aren't willing to use them. So we need to see a little bit more discipline from this team, because finishing out King's Row only in overtime is quite a scary thing considering how much momentum they had.
Yeah, I mean, it is only 21 seconds at the end of the day. I mean, typically when you see the offenses come out, they'll try to scout out what the defense is and then switch. So that in itself is a good 10-15 seconds. So all intents and purposes were about even, but again, you have to tilt this, you know, again, give the benefit to where it was earned for side effects. They were able to complete the map faster, so you know, props to them. But it comes down to Novus. You know, they had so much success in this first push at A here, Ham. It just comes down to, can they do it again? Luft will try to start things off with a snipe. We'll hit once and then immediately switch.
Yeah, you know, just a good luck bullet, right? You're Reinhardt, you don't get to do that too often. It's good to flex, you know, just keep warm. But again, mirror compositions here, so first picks will be crucial. Which Reinhardt's shield breaks first is actually going to be even more important, because you need that frontal pressure to be able to turn yourself into a battering ram and simply walk forward. Right now it's just more posturing around Mondada.
Wow.
And oh no.
That's a lot of time off the clock. You're going to have to reset him. Will they actually get staggered? The big one very low. You can see exactly how aggressive Jonah wants to be, but the cannon, it will reduce its range, and they will back up slightly. And you got to be careful for side effects. All 6 are back for Novus. You don't want to get picked out here defensively either. We're going to get in one more overtime push. 10 seconds left. Jonah getting close to a grab. Nothing else on the line, though, as far as ultimates are concerned. Again, the Reinhardt's posturing for positioning, slapping at one another's shields. It comes down to who will find the first bit of damage. You can see on the flip side, the big one also near full charge. And now the Earth Shatter, it's able to find one, but oh! The clutch timing on the Transcendence, but it wasn't enough to save the big one or left. All of a sudden, side effects of a potential full hold. Meta will put down the self-destruct and won't find anything, but regardless, Boger is slapping the backline apart, and side effects will get the full hold on A, and now all of a sudden a chance for them to find a good map win.
Sob, dude. Okay, we've been,
yeah, right.
We've really been fluffing the Novus supports, and deservedly so. They've been playing amazingly. But Sob, we saw it actually on Busan as well. This guy is able to find these opening picks across the map, and that was the key for the hold coming in from side effects. If Sob didn't get that early pick, who knows? Novus would have gotten their ultimates earlier without having to reset. Side effects wouldn't have that positional advantage. And big credit to Boger too. He slams down the hammer, and every instinct as a Reinhardt player is screaming at you to fire strike, charge in, swing your hammer, get some kind of throughput damage. But no, he held his hand, held up that shield, and the rest of his team was able to come in and put in that damage. And at that point, there was no hope for Novus. So side effects, we talked a lot about, what are they actually playing for right now? They can't actually get into contenders, but it's a good chance for these players to shine individually, and Boger is really, really picking things up.
Yeah, absolutely is. And again, you talk about even great play from Meta as well, as far as being able to, again, they've been pretty long distance throws from the big one when it comes to trying to hit these grabs, but regardless, a couple of clutch eats on the defense first of all. So now side effects, they have a potential to tie this one up 1-1. Of course, draw still in the consideration as well. 1:15 left, and it just comes down to, can you find this opening pick for side effects?
Yep, it always feels good to play spoiler, man, and that is what side effects is hoping for. Again, Mondada's statue just getting some love. Jonah, wow, already quite highly charged right here. You gotta be watching out for it. If you are left already, bouncing between half and full health.
Eclipse again playing the Ana most notably, so keep an eye out for those big biotic grenades, as they were clutch on the first defense. But you can't let too much go here for Novus. They need to get healthy again, but you cannot let this go to one tick, and it's already halfway there. A nice biotic grenade to keep everyone healthy this time for Novus. Not using it aggressively, but defensively this time around. Looking for a DMAC potentially. Meta will be able to get out, though, as he found a nice little armor pack from Spoxy. So now all of a sudden, again, it just comes down to who will find the first trigger. Eclipse has the boost and will throw it onto Luft. He's trying to get aggressive, but is there enough damage here? Again, you see the biotic grenade, the big purple comes through, but everyone able to escape. However, did they do that? Meta will be DMAC, but now it comes down to ultimates. The sound barrier has to be used for Novus. They'll sustain through it. The Earth Shatter, it will find two, but immediately pushed away was Boger. Kara, what a clutch move. Now it's going to be a Graviton Surge in a combination with a Shatter involving. Oh my goodness, the timing just so good for Novus as they clutch up at the last second. It will still only read as a draw though, so in all intents and purposes, in terms of the round robin style, that is still considered essentially a loss for Novus. But wow, what a defensive play that was. Oh man.
We are oh man, we are all like hands in our head. LaFawn is like rocking back and forth right now. We are just so full of this energy, dude. Because here's the thing. You know, as well as side effects tried to play that, and you saw the discipline, saving the shields, using the bubble well, how highly charged their Zarya was, it just wasn't enough. The boop from Kara to... We had the charge come in from Boger, so ready for the DMAC. Kara boops him, then we have the grab come in, everybody's sucked into it. It's just perfect timing from Novus, and sometimes that's just what you need. Success is, as they say, opportunity meets preparation. Obviously, Novus was preparing as best they could with their positioning and their cooldown management, but sometimes you have that opportunity and boom, if you can capitalize on it, that is the makings of a great team. I mean, what a back and forth between both sides, though. I was on the edge of my seat.
Goodness gracious, Ham, I don't have words. My hair is going all over the place because I literally casted that last fight like this. It's getting wild in here. I love to see it, though. Again, this is just EU Contenders trials. Again, against a team that literally just came out of the open division and now is playing up against a squad that, again, is looking like they will be essentially, at this point, sent back down to the open division. But regardless, moments of brilliance for both of these teams. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's just a draw. And, you know, for Novus, that's still technically a loss as far as their standings go for the round robin. But these are little elements as far as, you know, you finished off your first little go of the stage of 2019. You can look back at that and kind of have a smile on everybody's face because there were moments of brilliance for both teams.
Oh yeah, you went out with style, right? It's just, it's really incredible play from both sides, though. Big one,